measure out 30 centimeters here, maybe about a centimeter from the edge of my wood. I'm just going to mark a dot every centimeter. Now we get our nails, and all we do is we're going to hammer a nail into every dot that we've drawn. And we'll need a pair of tappers with this. And we're just going to hammer a nail into every dot.
Okay, your loom is ready. Now you need to make your thread, your string. So get an old plastic bag, get something that's quite soft, something that you can scrunch up really easily. The plastic I'm using here is not great, but if you can find something a bit softer, that's better. And then just cut a really long strip of thin plastic, about 1 centimeter thick. And then you're going to tie it onto the first nail of your bottom row. And then you're going to weave it backwards and forwards up to the top nail, and then back down to the bottom nail, up to the top, back down to the bottom, and do that all the way until you reach the last nail, and then tie it another knot onto the last nail of the bottom row at the other side. So it should look like this without the blue at the bottom. That's the next step. Now you're going to draw the shape of your fish. So get a texter and just roughly draw the shape that you want your fish. You don't need to worry about detail like eyes or anything like that. Just the rough shape to be a guide. Now you're going to start weaving. So you'll cut a whole lot of strips of blue plastic for the background, or whatever colour you like actually. Again, about 1 centimeter thick. And then you cut a different colour for your fish. I've chosen purple. And you're just going to start weaving under and over in rows from left to right. And when you get from left to right, when you get to the end of the loom, you just turn around and weave back the other way, making sure that every time you went over in the first row, you go under in the second, and every time you went under, you go over, etc. And when you run out of string, you just tie on a new piece and continue working. Once you're finished, it's time to take it off the loom. So this can be a little bit tricky, but you want to push all your plastic weaving back up and then get something like a nail and use that to lever the little loops off the nails like I'm doing in the video. And you just need to do that along the bottom row where you first started weaving. And once you've done that, it should be quite easy to pull it off the top row of nails. You'll need to be patient and careful because your weaving can sort of start to slide off the end, but we're going to do something to stop that happening very shortly. Almost done. And then you can see it comes off a lot easier on the other side. There it is. Now you can see that the weaving is kind of loose. It could just come off. So what we're going to do is we're going to thread a nail through one more piece of plastic, like this. And now we're just going to pull that plastic through all of the loops, all of those white loops that were hooked on the nails. It's a little bit fiddly and tricky, But this is an important step so that your weaving doesn't come undone. So just pull it through each loop. You could also use a really big needle for this if you have such a thing. Now once you've got it through all the loops like that, go back and just tie the end onto wherever you can to secure it. And of course tie the other end where you finished as well. Take your needle out. And this is the last finishing touches. Just tie up any loose ends if you've got any, and cut off any excess threads just to neaten everything up. And that's it, it's done. Pretty cool. And now you can hang it up on the wall somewhere, and it can always remind you of the impact of plastic pollution on our marine life.